Hello everyone. This is one of the 4 episodes I will be doing on Auth0 components needed for a simple login process in any front-end application. It got pretty cold in Colorado today, so I'm wearing 2 hoodies and please don't laugh at me. But let's get back into the content for today. The 4 components are connections, universal login, applications, and APIs. And for today's video, I'm going to just cover the connections. Connection is just a method which the user sees when they are interacting with the login screen, and they can choose one of those methods, whichever they have set up with to log in. And there are 4 connections which Auth0 provides, and they can be accessed from this authentication menu. Only 2 of them are relevant to my tutorial, and I will be using in this platform my briefcase. And those are social and passwordless. And the ones which are not that important, I will touch on them very quickly for now. The enterprise connections are very important, however, they are out of scope of my application itself and also these tutorials. They are used for software which are mainly used by employees of a company. So, for example, an HR system or internal tools. And the user usually utilize um, IDP systems like Azure or Google Workspace. The next one, which I don't really care about or use or recommend, is the database connection. It is the way the database connections enable username and password based authentication, which I really don't like because it's a pretty outdated way of authentication, and users don't really like setting up new passwords and remembering them. Um, and so the few hurdles which make it a bad experience for both developers and users is that you have to have unique usernames and the passwords needs to be reset immediately after the first login, otherwise that becomes a security risk, as well as we have to have standard operating procedures to provide password recovery as well as password rotation regularly so that it's less prone to hacking. So that leaves us with 2 connections, which is social and passwordless. The passwordless one is the one which is pretty easy and very intuitive. So I'm going to go into that one first. There are two. Uh, why isn't it refreshing? There are 2 passwordless methods. One is through phone and the other is through email, and both of them are basically on your device or on your side of the internet. You receive an OTP, and that is the one you use to log in. So you never have to set or remember passwords. I feel this is the uh, best approach in terms of still using something which the user have with them. And then the last one is social. Social is pretty common and we all are very well aware of them and we use them regularly. There are a bunch of social connections here you can choose from, and there is very good documentation by Auth0 on how to set up each of them and what is needed from these platforms to enable these connections. And the one I mainly use is Google Gmail one. Now let me tell you about what a social connection is. So the big software such as Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., etc., they are so big and they have such a big user base, like almost majority of the world population is on those platforms. So the idea of a social login is that these platforms allow their user credentials to be used on other smaller software. So when we as a software developer create a new software, our user base is very small, like maybe 5 users to start with and hope to get a million. But it's not a good idea to force our same human beings to just keep creating new username and password in different databases. So a social password is a way to transfer that one platform to another.